Pro Championship. Yeah, make some noise.
Beautiful California, palm trees, all that good stuff. Coming in this weekend, I didn't know how it was gonna go. I knew this track was either gonna be a love-hate thing. I was either gonna really love it, or really gonna hate it. And we love it. I love it. I was really, somewhat nervous because this, I've been trying to run this track for forever, been wanting to run it forever. Last year we didn't because COVID, and here we are. The biggest, man, I don't even know, the biggest weight off my shoulders was after the initiation of my very first run going into that first turn. That blind turn is menacing. The whole track really is menacing, but definitely the first turn because, you're at, I don't know what we're entering in at, maybe 80 mile an hour, 70, 80 mile an hour or so, give or take. And, you hook the car in right up against the wall, going into a blind right turn, you don't see anything till about midway through it, and then you're putting the back of the car up against another wall, which you'll see later in qualifying. We do just exactly that. I mean, just kiss that thing. And then transition back to outer zone 1 up against another wall, into past some tires, outer zone 2 into another wall. Transition back, there's like a, I don't want to call it touch and go. I don't know if it's touch and go or not, but they want you to put the ass of the car, back of the car, near the wall again, and then finally finish up with the last outer zone and on past the finish line. So we just finished up qualifying like 2 hours, hour and some change ago, I believe, and I was pulling back in the pits, yelling, screaming a little bit, just happy. It's the highest we qualified all year. I had a score of 85, which I don't think the score was the highest, but it was our highest qualifying position. So to be at a new track that I've never ran before with, I would say the majority, 80% of the drivers here have ran Long Beach before, the streets of Long Beach. So us to come in and put it mid-pack, 16th position with the 85 is just fueling this fire that's coming tomorrow for Chris the Force Forsberg.
Let's make some noise. It's great to be back. The streets of Long Beach. Gentlemen, let's send it! Chris Forsberg, obviously so much history here with this track. Here we go, Forsberg takes him down, Jonathan Aaron. Whoa, gets out of that touch and go, really digs deep into that touch and go area. Forsberg now applying the pressure. If he wasn't feeling it yesterday, he's definitely feeling it here today. Ryan, look at that. That just shows all the equity there, what he's done. Aaron really coming out swinging.
On the first touch and go and how they were judging Aaron.
Their perspective. Okay, thank you. All right, Chris Forsberg will now lead. Oh, look at this. Going in, Chris Forsberg does not get out to that touch and go. Looks like Aaron having some troubles there from the start. I definitely want to take and focus on the initiation, Ryan. Did Chris initiate at the right time, or was he thrown off? Didn't seem like Chris got all the way out to that touch and go. That might have been, you know, kind of at Chris's fault. Let's take a look at that again.
Oh my God, where are we? Long Beach. Long Beach, beautiful weather. We had a great practice session. We did really well. We only slightly touched the wall in practice. Not much damage to the car, finally. We only went through one taillight, luckily. Comparatively, we go through about, I don't know, like 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever they have in stock. But then we go into practice today, and I guess he wanted to see how soft the tires were in like the first part, so he shut the car off mid-run and then drove into the tires just to see, so he can get that out of the way. Once we knocked that out of the way, we just put a tie rod on, got it back out on track, and then we had Mr. Forsberg in top 32. That went not according to plan, but then again, we didn't have much of a plan other than just send it. But lead run was great. We yard sailed the bumper and half the back of the car, and that worked out cool. Luckily, we bent all the bash bars that we had this weekend too. So if you guys know anybody that makes bash bars, we'll take those. And then the rest of the lead run did look good. And then we did something called a follow with Forsberg, and I don't know what happened. And then we got old Aaron. He might make a cameo appearance in his own video, but if not, then I'll just take it.
So we had our practice this morning, I got 4 laps in. Again, feeling good. They were pretty much cookie cutter to my qualifying, which the exception being a little deeper in zone 1 and 2. We were second run. Top 32 started at like 11 on West Coast time. We were second ones in, so we were hustling to get out there. And yeah, we went out. First lap, I was leading because I qualified higher than Mr. Chris Forsberg. He qualified 17th. I was 16th with an 85. So we led first. Got my warm-up in, again, feeling good. Lead run, hammered down. It was, again, dang near identical to my qualifying run, except we went in like 2 more inches into the wall. So I lost my rear bumper, which I kicked it up towards Forsberg a little bit, I believe. Bent my crash bar, which we just gave away to some fans. 2 of them, matter of fact, which is really cool. Swapping it up, going to my Forsberg's lead run with my chase. We had a game plan going in. He is just fast. He was inconsistent yesterday at best. He just didn't have a great day. He was either like in the zones or a few feet shy, especially at the touch and go. So we had to go off today's data, and that was he was deep in all the zones. So we made the call to initiate directly on him, you know, upon initiation, just run up on him and stay with him because he was going to all the zones. I was going to plan on following him into it. He was running quick. However, it didn't, you know, his lead run wasn't to what he was running in practice earlier today. You know, we initiated in. I was carrying a lot of speed coming in to stay with him on a big 295/40 tire he has. And I don't know if he just slowed down on purpose or just that's how quick his car slowed down. I don't know. He didn't have no throttle response, I guess. I don't know what it was. But he just kept slowing down, so I'm getting harder and harder than brakes, and had to e-brake to check up because I was about to nudge him. I didn't want to brake. Or touch him and mess up a tie rod. So as soon as he jumped back on throttle, I did too, but at that point, I already watched a little bit further back than him. And when he jumped on throttle, that thing's a rocket ship, man. It just took off forward, and little would you know, he was like 4 feet shy of that touch and go. And it was on par with some of the runs he had previous in the day yesterday. And it's frustrating on my end, you know, to go and win the way things he's gonna run, and then he doesn't. But anyway, at that point, we were already pretty far behind. I jumped back on throttle, and his car just took off, and it seemed like he was just racing through the course. I didn't really appreciate the run he gave me. Not necessarily, may not have been his fault. Maybe just wasn't in the zone, or maybe that's how he was playing his strategy today. It is what it is. But again, this weekend was a win. The car performed flawlessly. It felt so good here. The track was amazing, and yeah, I can't wait to come back next year and rip it up. This being my first year here, I couldn't be happier with qualifying mid-pack with a bunch of champions like Forsberg and among many other guys that have been here just year after year, and we qualified higher than them. Again, we didn't move on, but it's a win in my book. You know, we just take this and keep moving, keep building that momentum into Irwindale. which is our final. Round 8, Irwindale, California back here. Still California dreaming. Gonna hammer down here. I know the track, we ran it last year. We did really well. We finished in the top 8 at the final round of last year. So we already got in the playbook a setup to throw in the car, and we're just gonna get right to it. Of course, some more S15 taillights are gonna get harmed, for sure. It's going against the wall. That right rear is going against the wall twice, on the bank and then coming into the infield. So if I had to guess, I need to buy like 3 more taillights, at least the right size, before we go to Irwindale. And probably Nick, my crew chief's gonna have to make about 4 crash bars. So I plan on going through at least 2 or 3 of 6 crash bars. So I plan on at least going through 2 or 3 before we even get to qualifying.